Good afternoon, my name is Casey Fleming and this is my informative speech. Our returning veterans are suffering in the shadows. Their struggles go unnoticed and their suffering goes unappreciated. While common civilians enjoy the benefits of the American dream, those who have given their lives for it struggle every day with the cost of war. Many fight depression or substance abuse, and veteran suicide is at an all-time high, reaching up to 18 preventable deaths a day, according to Judith Herman in her book, Trauma and Recovery. Something must be done to reach out to these men and women so that upon return to this country that they helped build, they can enjoy the lifestyles and freedoms which they sacrificed to preserve. The experience of war is one that cannot be matched by any other traumatic experience. It is solely a soldier's struggle. Upon return, many veterans have lost the friends which shared this unique struggle. This leaves them feeling isolated and alone and can lead to depression, substance abuse, and suicide. In a personal interview with Afghanistan combat vet Jonathan C. Buckley, he shared that it's common for soldiers to alienate those around them because they feel as if no one understands them, and no one really does. Their moral foundation has collapsed underneath them, and post-traumatic stress disorder and survivor's guilt can make them wish they never returned at all. We have yet to fortify our troops with the coping mechanisms and the skills they need to successfully return to civilian life. This transition period is where it's common for them to turn to self-medication as a means of coping. Substance abuse is often associated with our older population of veterans, although it's very common in our newly returning younger generation as well. Substance abuse affects not only our veterans themselves, but their families, their loved ones, and it negatively affects their ability to reassimilate into civilian life. While the 2008 Department of Defense Health Behavior Survey indicates a decline in use of tobacco and illicit drugs, it reports increases in other areas, such as prescription drug abuse and heavy alcohol use. In fact, prescription drug abuse among military personnel doubled between 2002 and 2005, and it almost tripled between 2005 and 2008. Alcohol abuse is one of the most prevalent problems and one which poses a significant health risk. According to Herman, a study of Army soldiers screened 4 months after returning from Iraq showed that 27% met criteria for heavy alcohol abuse and were at increased risk for other harmful behaviors such as drinking and driving and illicit drug use. According to Keith Armstrong in his book titled Courage After Fire, although soldiers frequently reported concerns circulating around their alcohol abuse, it's uncommon for them to actually be referred to treatment. These research findings highlight the need to improve screening and access for alcohol-related treatment among service members returning from combat-related deployment. It is unacceptable to turn our heads and close our eyes to this need for help. Support must be given on all levels, be it medication, therapy, counseling, or support groups involving other veterans who understand their unique problems. Too many times we sit quietly waiting for the problem to resolve itself, but substance abuse is a slippery slope leading to further isolation. Left unabated, this profound seclusion leaves the soldier feeling hopeless and worthless, at which point suicide tempts relief. Penny Coleman states in her book Flashback that veteran suicide is at an all-time high. Since the invasion of Afghanistan until the following summer, 761 U.S. military soldiers were killed in action. Even more disturbing is a larger number, 817, had ended their own lives over that same period. According to Erin P. Filey in her book Fields of Combat, the surge of suicide, which has risen in the last 5 years in a row, has become a serious problem for which our government has yet to find a solution, despite deploying hundreds of trained mental health personnel and investing millions of dollars. While several organizations are in place to assist our returning soldiers, Many of our veterans do not seek the help that they need. We must reach out to them and provide a lifeline. We must take the initiative and be proactive. It is impossible for us to understand what they have experienced, but our servicemen and women need the opportunity to connect with other soldiers who understand their unique experience, and they need the opportunity to connect with professionals who can help them rebuild their lives. For all that our veterans have endured and for all that our veterans have witnessed, our veterans must be rebuilt. It is up to us to create a lifeline and to offer help where it is needed. We cannot leave our soldiers to wage battle against depression and substance abuse on their own. It is our responsibility as Americans to care for our veterans. They have survived the unimaginable. We must not let them return safely, only in order to die by their own hand. Thank you very much for your time. Again, my name is Casey Fleming, and this has been my informative speech.